Tradeify has three main account types. They have the straight and the funded, the growth, and the advanced plans. And I continue to get asked questions on a daily basis about how does Tradeify's drawdown actually work. Now, before we jump into today's video, I want to let you guys know right now, Tradeify first time users, you can get your first account for 50% off. After that, 35% off all account sizes. Take advantage of these offers. Use the link in the description box down below. Use promo code Mike. And recently, Tradeify had a rule change where now we can get paid in as little as 7 days. Now, before we take a look at the different accounts and the different drawdown types, I want to let you guys know if you're on Tradeify's website, which you can get there by using the link in the description box down below, you can simply come right up here to the Help Center. And in the Help Center, you can find a lot of the information I'm going to share with you within this video. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on pricing so we can go to the different account types. And the straight send the funded account, the drawdown type that they use is the end of the day trailing drawdown. However, with this account type, there's also a daily loss limit, which means if I go below $1,250 on any particular day, I will be locked out of the account for the day. Now, you do not fail the evaluation when you hit the daily loss limit. If we look at the growth plan, which I do have a few growth accounts at this point as well, we can see we also have that daily loss limit of $1,250, and we have a trailing max drawdown of $2,000. And we're going to explain the difference here in just a few moments. Now, one of the benefits of the growth plan is it is cheaper than the straight send the funded account. And once you pass the evaluation, you can see right down here, there is zero activation fee. And you can save 35% right now on all these accounts. Now, the cheaper account is going to be the advanced plan. And this is going to be a little bit different. There is no daily loss limit. So if you hate the daily loss limit, one way to get around that would be to trade with the advanced plan. However, all right, with something good, there's also going to be something bad. And that's going to be the drawdown type. In this account, in the advanced accounts, we have what's called the intraday trailing drawdown. So if you've ever traded with Apex, you're probably very familiar with the intraday drawdown. But let me go ahead and explain this to you. So the first drawdown type we're going to look at is going to be the intraday trailing drawdown. This is going to be the one that confuses the most amount of traders. And that is because the drawdown is going to continue to trail up regardless if it's open profit or closed out profit. Now, in the example that Tradeify gives out here, they're going to use the $100,000 account size. So with the $100,000 account size, we get what's called a trailing drawdown limit of $3,000. So if you look right here at the $100,000 account, you can see right here, it does say trailing max drawdown is $3,000. Now in this account, we're attempting to make $6,000 in a simulated environment without hitting that trailing drawdown of $3,000. Now, what this goes on to say is if the account increases to 105,000 within the first hour of trading, it would adjust the drawdown limit to $102,000, which means the drawdown limit has now moved up by a total of $5,000. Keep in mind, when you start out this account, you can't let the account go below $97,000. How do we know that? Well, if the initial account balance is $100,000, $3,000 starting off with a drawdown below that would bring us to $97,000. So if we're able to grow the account to $105,000, then the drawdown is now moved to $102,000. However, it's not that simple. Let's go over and look at a chart real quick, just so I can illustrate this for you a little bit clearer. Let's say, for example, I'm going to draw a white line on the screen. Now, where this white line is, let's assume that we entered the market long. And for this example, we're just going to say one contract. If you enter the market right here, you can see the market ran up. And then as the market was running up, let's say that your initial stop loss, okay, now I drew a horizontal red line and we're going to say this is our initial stop loss. So if we look at this trade, as we put the trade on, you say, okay, I'm willing to risk 2.25 points. Now with the S&P 500, that'd be roughly $112.50. And you're like, all right, so worst case scenario, the drawdown, I'm going to lose $112. That is incorrect, because in this example with the advanced plan in the intraday trailing drawdown, if the market moved all the way up here, we go ahead and we measure from our entry point right up here to the highest point. We were up 5.5 points. Now, let me get out the calculator real quick. And with the S&P 500 in this example, 1 point equals $50. So 5.5 times 50. That means we were up $275 at the high water mark within this trade. So now our drawdown has also moved up $275. So if you end up initially as the market's up here, taking that stop loss and moving it right here to break even. Then now if the market does indeed come all the way back down and hits your stop loss order, you have now lost $275 of drawdown. Now you might say, Mike, that's not fair. Why do they do that? Well, if you look at the price of the accounts, they are cheaper accounts. They are harder to pass. But one of the ways that you can get around this is when you're in a situation where the trailing drawdown is moving up, well, guess what? The way to defeat it is simply going for base hits. So in this example, either looking to take quick targets at 1, 2, 3 points and aggressively moving that stop loss up so that you don't have these huge swings back against you, chewing up drawdown is a way to go ahead and defeat that type of drawdown. Another way is also to go ahead and use smaller position size. Now, there is something you need to know about the intraday drawdown, and that is going to be the fact that it will lock. Now, it locks once you are in a SIM funded account. All right. So in the evaluation phase, it does not lock to my understanding, but in the SIM funded account, once profits exceed the trailing max drawdown by $100, then it will quit moving. So in this example they gave us, since we had a $100,000 evaluation, once we have made $3,100, the trailing drawdown will no longer move. It will be fixed at $100,100. So if you're a trader that likes to go for big runners and you want to let the market really swing, like in this example, looking for a much larger move on the way up, wait until that drawdown has already locked, and then you can start to implement that type of strategy. Now, let's go look at the drawdown within the growth plan. In the growth plan, we're going to use that same $100,000 account size. Now, all the accounts that I have with Tradeify, I currently have the 50K account size. All the prop firms out there, I trade the 50K accounts, except for with Take Profit Trader, I use their 150K account sizes. Now, in the growth plan, we can see that our trailing max drawdown is $3,500. Well, right off the rip, the 100K growth versus the advanced, we can see that we actually get $500 more of drawdown. However, what's even better about this is, look at it, it's an end of the day drawdown type. Now, with this, in this example, if we would have got in right here, the market ran up on us, came back and stopped us out for break even. With the growth plan, we would lose 0 drawdown. The only way we would lose on this trade would be if the market came all the way back down and actually hit our initial stop loss. So if you like to play runner trades or use multiple targets to scale out, the growth plan is probably a better option. Now we can scroll down right here and it talks about the end of the day drawdown, and they basically show it right here. You can see that trader makes $3,000, account increases to 103. Now, this is only going to update after the close of the session. So let's assume that maybe you're having a great trading morning. You've already made $10,000 in this account. And then by the close of the session at 5 o'clock, you're like, uh-oh, you're back at break even. You gave back all those profits. Well, in that example, you would lose 0 drawdown. However, with the intraday drawdown, you would actually have busted out the account because the drawdown would have been ratcheting up all the way up. Now, there is one other drawdown type that we need to look at, and that is going to be the daily loss limit. Now, the daily loss limit has actually saved me. I hit the daily loss limit. We talked about this several times on the live stream. Speaking of live stream, if you don't want to miss the next time I go live, make sure you're subscribed. You have the bell notifications turned on for all. I hit the daily loss limit in the account 4 times and was still able to get multiple payouts from that account because it allowed me to fight another day. So if we come over and we look at the accounts with the growth plan, there is a daily loss limit in this example of $2,500. If you're trading the 50K account, it would be $1,250. Now, if your account hits that level, you are locked out for the day and you cannot trade again until 6 p.m. So just be well aware of that. The daily loss limit is good. It's bad, right? You don't like to be cut off, but sometimes as traders, we need to be cut off so we don't completely go on till. Now, if we look at the straight to SIM funded accounts, like the growth plan, it also has what's called the end of the day drawdown, which in my personal opinion, I do believe is a better drawdown type. Then it also has a daily loss limit. However, once you already make the profit objective of $3,000, because in the straight SIM funded account, we can get paid out once you've made $3,000, then this daily loss limit actually goes away. And I think it may also go away in the growth plan as well. You can see right here, the daily loss limit restrictions in the funded growth in the straight SIM funded accounts will be removed when your profits on the account hits a target level. So once you make 3%, you can see right here in the 50K account, once you make $3,000, the daily loss limit will go away. In the 100K account, once you make $6,000 of profits, the daily loss limit will then go away. Now, let me know in the comment section down below, which of these 3 account types do you think is best with Tradeify? And if you'd like to learn about Take Profit Traders' new rule change that just took place this week, go ahead and watch this next video right here.